Hey everybody, welcome to another video, and in this one I'm presenting more information regarding Assassin's Creed Origins. Again, this is starting to get really repetitive, this time coming from the ESRB rating or whatever that happens to be. I think it's like the American rating, like mature and etc. My point is the description that comes with this rating that sort of validates the rating that it's gives off some information about the game. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at that. So first of all, it's rated mature 17+, so that gives you an idea of the content that we will see in this massive paragraph below. The content descriptors line reads: blood and gore, drug reference, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, strong language and use of alcohol. As for the big paragraph, we're going to analyse as we go, so I'll try to break down everything worth breaking down as we get to it, so it's just a simpler video really. This is an action-adventure game in which players follow the story of Egyptian assassins Bayek and Aya of Siwa, tasked with taking down a secret order that threatens Cleopatra's power. First of all, from what marketing has told us, I don't think that's 100% accurate. I think it's more like they're trying to discover what happened in Siwa at the beginning of the game, or at least that's how Ashraf Ismail painted it. Obviously, the people who wrote this probably have played a bit of the game, if not the whole thing, to be able to write this out. As players explore open-world Egyptian, Greek and Roman environments, they undertake missions to find, stalk and kill human enemies. Because I kind of expected them to be frog people, but yeah, okay, this definitely doesn't seem as if it's very intelligent. Players use swords, arrows, concealed blades and spears to assassinate targets and kill enemies in a frenetic melee-style combat. Obviously they're not doing the range of weapons that you can use in combat enough credit, because there's a lot more than they say. I can definitely see where they're coming from when describing the combat as fairly frenetic. It does give that vibe of energy and fast pace, but it's not ridiculously so. But this sentence undersells the combat system in Assassin's Creed Origins by quite a fair bit. There are so many different weapons that you can use, different types, and so on and so forth. I won't go into too many details about that, but you know, obviously the person who wrote this out probably didn't explore their weapon arsenal too much, or they tried to limit what they were saying because obviously the paragraph can only be so big. Some cutscenes also depict intense acts of violence. Now we're talking. It then goes to give examples, such as a man beaten to death with an orb and a child getting stabbed. Jesus, that's quite far, isn't it? It then goes on to say that assassinations and fights are highlighted by cries of pain and large blood spatter effects. But yes, we have indeed seen this before in Assassin's Creed, so that's nothing new and was probably to be expected. But now it's pretty much confirmed that when you kill people, they will scream in pain and die and bleed and things, which, okay, cool, moving on. One sequence depicts human body parts and blood in a cave. Alright, we get it, it's a violent game. Moving on. Another scene briefly depicts a headless corpse impaled on a stake. Like I said, we get it at this point. Moving on from the violence, the game includes a mission involving prostitutes and a brothel in which a couple can be partially observed having sex, i.e. moaning sounds. But sexual themes are a part of any mature gaming experience these days anyway, so it's kind of to be expected. Female characters are sometimes depicted topless in the brothel, so there's a brothel in the game somewhere. Some rooms contain drawings of figures engaged in various sexual acts, so this brothel is a brothel in other words, and that's just a brothel for you. So obviously there will be a quest in the game that probably does involve the brothel, because I don't imagine them putting one there just for the sake of putting one there, because I mean it provides variety, but if you don't like these sort of themes in gaming, then be warned. During the course of the game, a character briefly mentions an opium pipe, and that was worth mentioning. That just spoiled a little bit of dialogue for everybody. So there's a little reference to drugs. There's no reference to a use of drugs. It's just drug reference at this point, like referencing to drugs such as the opium pipe, which is obviously back in the historical period of the game, 49 BC, because opium was something they used back then. But nothing suggests that we as the player will be taking the opium in the game, so I suppose that there's no use of drugs. The player's character is depicted drinking alcohol during a sequence of cutscenes. After a time, players must walk and engage in a fist fight while the screen and controls are impaired. So at some point in the game, either in the modern day or the historical period, Bayek, or the player character in the modern day, is going to get pissed drunk and then get in a fight. Okay, cool. That will be interesting for sure, but it doesn't seem like Bayek to get drunk. Like, something about it just doesn't sit with its character, so maybe it could be a modern day character, but that's just far-fetched. Also, it says the controls are impaired, so does this mean we're just going to watch the fist fight? Or are we going to get involved in it and then at some point the controls will get impaired and we'll get flattened? I'm not too sure about that one, but please do let me know what you think down in the comments. And the final sentence in the paragraph just tells us that strong language will be used in the dialogue, but you know, again, in a mature game, strong language is usually part of the parcel. But there you do have it. There was the ESRB rating thing, information description, whatever you want to call it, thing that just tells us a load of minor details about the game, including minor spoilers. So now we know some minuscule details about, you know, the story, the game, certain side quests, what they might entail, things to expect. As far as maturity goes, at least, we now know what we're getting ourselves into, so if any of that puts you off the game, then I do apologise, but you now have fair warning. So to go back over it, the game does include blood and gore, drug reference, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, strong language, and use of alcohol. So if any of them put you off, then this probably isn't the game for you, but most people will be fine with it. But yeah, that's about it really. There's not really anything else to go over. I just wanted to make a video going over all that because I know how lengthy it will be to analyse all that stuff, all those minor details. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you think, and share this channel with your friends. That'll really be helpful. I'm trying to hit 25,000 before Origins comes out in over a month's time, nearly 2 months, not quite, but I'll see you all very soon in another video.